Hey everybody, welcome to the Tea Table. Today we're going to be taking a look at a deck that was suggested by Twitter user _IKSS. Really appreciate that. So it's going to be Corviknight VMAX. So let's jump in and see what makes this thing work. So we got the first card, Arceus V and Arceus V-Star, and if you know anything about me, I love this card. I think it's the best card in the set. The combination and Brilliant Stars. Both do have the same attack that get basic energy, and Chef your Pokemon V, which is really essential in this deck. And Arceus V-Star does have the once game ability where you can search your deck for any two cards, which in this particular build can help you get out like your multiple evolutions, as sometimes it is kind of awkward when you have to do that. So let's see what else is in the Pokemon. You got Corviknight V and Corviknight V Max. So Corviknight V does 30 damage. Your opponent's active can't retreat. I've seen that float around in a couple stall decks using memory capsule and stuff, so that's pretty cool. But in this build, we're more on attacking with the V Max. So the VMAX's ability is you don't take effects of your opponent's ability. So that helps against Inteleon and Umbreon VMAX. And then you do 240 damage and you can't attack next turn, but that's okay because you do have free retreat cost. So if you get a couple going, you can rotate and switch and keep attacking. Now you're thinking, well, how do I do that? It takes 3 energy. Well, that's where Bronzong comes in handy. Bronzong has an ability where as often as you want, you can move metal energy around. So you can just switch them out and bring in your new attacker that you have to, so that you can always have someone ready to go and ready to attack your opponent. Then we have Zacian V, who, as you've seen in other decks, its ability ends your turn, but you look at the top 3, and you either draw them or attach on Metal Cessation. So if you're going first, that is a really good ability to power up or just get more cards in your hand. And then it does 230 for 3, but you can't attack next turn. And then we got Zamazenta V. Now, it's not the one you're thinking of. Usually they can't be hit by VMAXs. This is a new one for Brilliant Stars. It does have an ability to end your turn. Discard your hand, draw 5. So if you do go first and you got like burn your whole hand and you're like, well, Zacian's fine, but you want to draw 5 cards, that's great. You can put metal in your discard pile for later, do a bunch of things. And its attack is a revenge style attack, so it's 120 plus 3 for each prize your opponent's taken, which I think is a very underrated attack. This is one of my cards to watch out for. If you play double turbo and Arceus in decks and can somehow fit metal or aurora energy, if an Ice Rider, for example, takes 2 prizes, you are knocking them out in one hit. And that's going to be huge if the early projections from Japan translate over to here, with Ice Rider being probably the best Arceus variant. So then you have the support Pokemon. You got Lumineon V, Crobat V. Lumineon searches for a supporter when you play it, and Crobat draws a 6 when you play it. Insane. And then you got Manaphy, which is new, to protect your bench. So a bunch of these bench sitter decks' problem before was, if I face a Jolteon on VMAX or an Urshifu VMAX, we're screwed because they could just damage the bench so easily and you can't even do anything. Well, now you got Manaphy to at least stall long enough to let you do stuff, because obviously they could just knock it out and then, haha, you do all this other stuff. But that gives you time to attack them a couple times or capitalize on stuff like that, so it's not as easy for them. So let's move to the supporters. So we got 4 Professor's Research, pretty stable. Now you got 3 Cheryl. So the cool thing about comboing with Bronzong and Cheryl is, so Cheryl says remove all damage counters from all your evolution Pokemon and then discard all energy on them. So you move the energy off Corviknight to Bronzong, let's say, or Lumineon or whatever. And let's say you had a Corviknight with 200 and an Arceus V-Star with 150. You Cheryl, you heal both of them, you lose no energy, and then you can move those to whoever you want to attack with for that turn. I thought about going 4, but you probably really only know 3 during a game. Because sometimes it's not bad to get knocked out if you need bench space or something. So I think 4 is too much, but I haven't played any games with this, so who knows? 4 could be great. Then we got 2 Marnies for Disruption and 2 Boss's Order. So let's go to the ways to get Pokemon. You got 4 Quick Ball, 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Evolution Incense. I chose to go 2 Evolution Incense over 4 Ultra Ball because, well, yes, you do want to discard metal energy to use to get back later. You don't really have too many cards that are just dead randomly, so I think that 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Evolution is good since you do have the 3 different evolution lines in your deck, so it's guaranteed. You don't have to worry about discarding a card if it's your only card or something like that. So then we got 4 Metal Saucer, 2 Switch, a Big Charm, and a Choice Belt. So Metal Saucer is attach metal energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench metal Pokemon. So it speeds up Bronzong, it's combos with Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Zamazenta V if you got to do it, Research if you got to burn some energy. It's great. 2 Switch because we don't want to get stuck anywhere with Bronzong in particular. You got Big Charm. So So in testing so far in other decks, Big Charm, the plus 30 on Arceus V has been insane. Like, the 30 damage has mattered so much, just getting an extra turn to attack with it. As of right now, Tool Scrapper isn't popular, so it's one of those things that's really cool that I like. I wanted 2, but I couldn't fit 2 in right now. But it's definitely a card to watch out for when you're testing. If you're having trouble getting to that extra turn, Big Charm is definitely a card you want to try out. And then Choice Belt, the 30 more on your opponent's Vs. So, I don't know how much the math really checks out for Corviknight so much. But on Arceus, it's good because it lets you get 210, so you can knock out like a Suicune or a Genesect V, and, you know, all those kind of basic Vs that you might have had trouble with before. And then we got 2 Collapse Stadium, which is you can only have 4 bench, and both players got to discard a 4 if they have more. So not only can you get rid of Luminion and Crobat, what you can do is if you don't have a Cheryl and you want to save your Corviknight because your opponent's going to draw your last 3 prizes and you might have another attacker ready, you can move the energy, play the Stadium, and discard your Corviknight, and then your opponent loses 3 prizes on the board and might not know what to do. And then we finish up with the energy of 9 metal and 2 double turbo. We only have 2 turbo because you have Arceus, and, you know, who knows what you're going to do. You don't need 4, really, because you only have Arceus and Zamazenta that can attack. So it's one of those things where I don't know. You know, maybe 3 is good, but attaching to Arceus turn 1 with metal and then attaching a second metal turn 2 and using the basic V's attack is good, too. So it really hasn't felt like you needed 3 or more. But that doesn't say I won't add 3 in the end when I post an update list later on Twitter. So, I want to thank everyone for watching this Corviknight deck profile real quick. Again, thank you to _IKSS on Twitter for the suggestion. If you have any suggestions on decks you want me to build, I love building decks. It's like the most fun part of the game for me. Just DM me at Josh Hatter, and I definitely will. Drop a like and a subscribe if your heart feels like it. And we will see you next time on the Tea Table.